Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marvel Mondays. This is your host, Tex-Mex Morty, and let's get today started. Let's bring in the panel. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Weird start to the day, man. I started the intro, and I think it started the audio like halfway through because of the audio finished before the damn intro was even done playing. But hopefully that's not like a bad omen, and we're in for a horrible time. But we'll see how it goes. But how y'all doing today? Let's see who we got in today. We basically have the usual suspects minus Slucius, which actually he's not a usual suspect anyways. But let's start bringing him in. I got my fantastic, marvelous co-host right here with me, Mr. Oyman. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Tex-Mex Morty and Marvel Mondays crew? I'm so glad to be a part of today's episode of Marvel Mondays.
Damn, you're actually sounding really fucking crisp, man.
Using a new mic, yeah. Getting really every single nuance and every inflection of my vocal performance for tonight.
Well, it sounds like you're trying to do like a weird wrestler like commentator, but one that got like rejected.
Hey man, you gotta take what work you can. Maybe I couldn't do a gig on wrestling, so here I am on Marvel Mondays.
All right, and we got Mr. Johnny Joestar. What's up, Mr. Joestar?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is your boy, Johnny Joestar. I'm really glad to be back, and can't wait to be talking about the new stuff that's coming out.
All right, fantastic. And of course, we have JT returning as well. What's up with you, JT?
Dude, I'm so excited for Marvel Mondays, because like stuff that we say on this program can only be found here on the Screen Crusaders. So you better listen up. We might have some weird crap to say, and it will be good. Trust me, it will be good.
All right, and last but of course not least, we have give me 1 second. We have Miss Cap. How you doing today?
Hey, all right. I'm excited for tonight. Let's get to talking.
All right, yeah, and then that makes the whole panel today. So Before we get started, as usual, I'm going to give my spiel. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. It definitely helps out. And if you're on the, on the chat right now, go ahead and just say something, even if it's just a hi. But it definitely brought in some interesting conversations last time we did it. So hoping we could have more of those. But let me go ahead and bring in our bulletin board real quick. All right. So... Damn, my screen's so damn small, it's hard to see. So, of course, the Daily Bugle bulletin board here. We have just a couple of topics. I actually forgot to put one, which was Phase 3 ranking, right underneath Miss Marvel Episode 2. So that's going to be something we'll be discussing as well. So keep that in the list. And we also got brand new news that was revealed, I think it was today, earlier, and... it was just a little thing that we'll get to in a second. But to start off, we'll go ahead and start off with the first thing. So Wonder Man is getting a series on Disney Plus, it looks like. And it's going to be written... Who's it written by, actually? I forgot. I know that the guy who directed... what's that movie called? Shang-Chi is going to be attached to it. But let me Wonder Man Marvel. Let's see who was the... All right. Let me just
Andrew
click.
Guest's the head writer.
There you go. That sounds... Yeah, Andrew Guest. What has Andrew Guest done, actually?
Morbius.
Oh no,
Definitely
I
did
hope
not
not.
work on Morbius, but he also was involved in.
I know.
He was involved in
There's the
Hawkeye.
one.
All right.
Hawkeye was his only other Marvel.
We started so soon with the Morbius crap, and I'm surprised it wasn't for Mr. Oyman.
Yeah, no, I'm
John-
morbed out. So.
Mr. Johnny
It's
Joe
morbid
Star.
time.
You are me.
Morbed out.
I bought the Blu-ray last week and watched it.
Oh,
30
I hope you
times.
did it.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
Actually, I went to Target and there was like a whole wall and wanted to take a picture and I was just like, oh man,
I took
Jonathan would love this.
I took the Blu-ray and put it next to Venom 1 and 2 on the shelf.
Oh,
They
I
got more about
actually forgot to say something to the chat. If you want to see something fun that will incentivize you to subscribe, if you do it while we're live, like right now, you'll actually get a little personalized GIF. Your name will pop up, and then one of 3 little videos will show you your little surprise.
Which one you'll all want the most?
Oh.
Yeah. 2 out of the 3 involve dancing. So if you want to see what surprise pops up in the middle of the screen, and let me know if that actual plugin is working, because I haven't tested it out yet. But help me out and help me hit that subscribe button so we could see if we got that plugin working. But back to it. So Wonder Man, I'll pass it over to my co-host. It's not that bad of a thing. It's just
the tone of your voice is dropped.
that, and the second thing with the Ironheart thing, it brings up a topic that I'll get to in a moment. But Mr. Oyman, other than me, you're our residential comic book reader and Marvel Unlimited subscriber, so you probably have gotten a chance to look over some Wonder Man stuff, I believe, or you have previous knowledge of them. So I'll pass the mic to you and let you go ahead and give us a brief rundown about the character.
So Wonder Man was debuted in the Avengers number 9 back in 1964, and then wasn't really shown again up until like Avengers 58, where he was Conqueror. So I'm wondering if they might be tying in the thing, since we've already kind of gotten.
Wait, you're cutting off. Could you repeat that?
Oh,
you stopped at.
how's that?
They're
Is that
tying
better?
it in. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they might tie it into Kang the Conqueror, since he's already been introduced in the MCU. But also, Wonder Man has a relationship with Wanda in the comics, and with them, with them potentially having the creators of WandaVision maybe on board for this Wonder Man series, maybe tie in
Those-
Wanda somehow into Wonder Man. Maybe he'll be her newfound love, and they'll have a little love triangle with White Vision and Wonder Man. And she just if you got a White Vision and Wonder Man, who knows? Maybe she'll go after some Wonder Bread next. I mean, so
But,
many options for Wanda.
She'll have some
So
of
many
that Wonder
W's.
Vision, baby.
White Vision, Wonder Man, Wanda.
Do you think they might? Do you think they might tie it into the Thunderbolts by any chance? Maybe have them spin off of it, or
I mean, it'd be cool if they could, because then the Thunderbolts might have a little bit more. Like anything that they'd use to tie into that, I think would make Thunderbolts a little more interesting, especially since they're doing that as a movie and not a series. So I'm not really sure if they're planning on doing Thunderbolts or Wonder Man first, but the fact that they're all kind of announcing these right around the same time, I'm sure they'll all tie into one way or the other. But Wonder Man is basically a superhero who's also a Hollywood actor. He's like not really a famous movie star, but he's pretty famous. He's a movie star who doubles as a superhero who joined the Avengers West Coast, or rather the West Coast Avengers. Since they already have a lot of West Coast Avenger characters, kind of introduced now with Hawkeye, kind of introducing Mockingbird. They could always go somewhere with that. We got White Vision. We might get Tigra, or Tigra. I don't really know how you say it. I prefer calling her Tigra, but she's one of my favorite.
Yes.
If they introduce her, then they could get a whole West Coast Avengers thing going on, especially if they bring Wanda back. But I'm not really too sure how I feel about them doing a Wonder Man series as an introductory for him. I feel like I would rather see him introduced somewhere else first, just to kind of see how audiences respond to the character and see if there's that interest there to get a series kind of on board. But then again, they did do Moon Knight kind of just as a series without introducing him anywhere else, and so it could work. It could work. Well, I guess we'll see though.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool though. I mean, even if he was if he's a love interest to like Wanda, I mean, she
That's
would
just in the
actually have
comics,
kids. Oh, I'm just saying, like, I mean, it would
Might
be
change it
something.
up.
Yeah, because like, I mean, maybe she won't go completely psycho and try to kill more people for fake children. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a plus, maybe redemption, for her.
but
But at the same time, like, I mean, if you were to bring back Tiger, I guess it would take her off Chippendale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So-
no, that's a good thing.
She's
That
coming out
was
of
her first
retirement.
appearance. Her first appearance was fucking Chippendale.
So JT and Miss Cap, are you guys pique any interest? Do you guys even really know anything about Wonder Man, or did you see that and were like,
No, nothing.
absolutely nothing?
Absolutely nothing. But I am, I'll see. I'll want to get to know Wonder Man and who he is and what he does and how he's gonna fit within this universe that they're creating. So
Yeah,
Wonder Man
actually,
was
I'm-
supposed
I'm excited.
Yeah, actually, for me, like, I'm kind of interested because Marvel has so many interesting characters that, again, like in the bottom of the barrel, just scraping out, from the dust, and it's like old dusty library, and from like phase forward to and beyond. Like, here's Wonder Man. He's an actor, and he has superpowers. Let's put him on Disney Plus, and let's see if people really want to see him on the big screen and find a talented, unknown, maybe older actor to play him. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know much about him, but hey, if Marvel gotten this far with a supernatural hero and Moon Knight and a guy who shoots arrows and Hawkeye, then they can kind of do anything that they want to because they're freaking Marvel. So I have no complaints whatsoever.
And Wonder Man was supposed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He was
Yep,
going to be played by Nathan
Fillion.
And then they cut him out.
Oh,
last
nice.
minute. They cut him out, and they were like, you know what? I think
Aw.
we got plans for him later on down the road. So I'd
Interesting.
like to see Nathan Fillion play, and that'd be really fun. But they probably won't do that. They'll probably go with.
He's so good at everything. Like he
know.
everywhere he goes, he just kind of brings everything together. And you're just like,
Great
That's
addition to the
cool.
MCU.
yeah,
So see, it's just a weird spot for me when it comes to this announcement, just because I I really don't know how to take it. I know Wonder Man from a couple things, like Mr. Oyman says he has popped up in some of the team up issues of either like the Avengers or West Coast Avengers, and I'm 90% sure that I remember that he was in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers cartoon, back in like the yeah. Oh no! That was a different one because that's the Guardians episode. He has an actual episode dedicated to himself.
His brother is Grim Reaper.
But
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
But it's one of those characters that I know that they've had success with certain characters like Guardians of the Galaxies. I wouldn't say so much with Eternals, but that, and paired with the news that I put on there too, that Ironheart, the series, actually began filming last week, late last week. So that's in production. We'll probably be seeing that sometime next year. But it's just these characters that I wouldn't say people don't want, because no one really asked for Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I did want it, but I know
Or Thor.
Well, Thor
Yeah.
was at least closer
Well,
to
yeah.
a B or C lister. Guardians
But
are
nobody
like,
knew what Thor was when it came out, and now he's like the only MCU character to have his own.
well, yeah,
fight
but again, at least he
Yeah.
was. You kind of, comic book readers kind of knew him. Some of these characters like Wonder Man, even Ironheart and Guardians, I would consider them D or lower list heroes, and
I'm
it makes me wonder, like when you read that right now, or you heard that Ironheart series begins filming, does that spark any interest in any of y'all?
I don't know. I mean, like, so far, like, they haven't really done that bad with like their shows. Like, I mean, even with like Mrs. Marvel too, you know, like it's actually a little bit of a shocker because like they've actually done pretty well. But when it comes to like all this stuff, like, yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, most of us, like, I mean, okay, think about it this way. Like, yeah, for the comic book readers, yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, we know like a skim of it, you know, we would know some of them and all that stuff. But for the people that just kind of want to see and be a fan of their own, it actually brings more opportunities for them to be interested into, oh, you know what, I like Wonder Man more than I do Captain America. Not saying that he's like better or anything, but I'm just saying like it gives more people like the chance to see more of the Marvel. Now, can I say that Disney is going to milk this? Like, yeah, of course they are.
Of
Because
course.
I mean,
Cash
we,
cow.
of course, like it's a big cash cow. But the thing is, it's like with all these coming out, like it actually brings more, I guess you could say, optimism for like later down the line. But I mean, like, do I care to see it? I mean, like, sure, why not? I mean, this is why we're even here, right? I mean, we're able to talk about Marvel because there is Marvel. So the thing is, it's like, yeah, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm so stoked about it because you know what? I don't really know anything about Wonder Man. If anything, I think I saw Wonder Man die in Marvel Zombies. Like, that's about it. And I think, like, also I have an action figure of him, but I only got him because of it, because it comes with the BAF, like
The figure.
the Build a
Abomination,
figure.
right?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. I actually completed my Abomination, but besides the point, that's the only thing I know about him. And I mean, they gave you like a little profile in the back, so I was just like, I mean, do we really want to show about him? Like,
I think
not
it would be
really.
interesting because with Wonder Man, you can do a lot of. Given that he's a Hollywood actor, you could do a lot with kind of being a little bit meta about superhero movies being the whole thing right now, and how Hollywood would look in the MCU. That would be very interesting.
Are you talking about like breaking the fourth wall and like
yeah,
being
exactly.
like,
Being very
okay,
meta with it.
okay? It's just like,
But,
do we really need another Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, exactly. Who is Spider-Man anyway? We should get the Tobey Maguire guy to play him. Who? That guy's got a hidden ear. But with Ironheart, I was going to ask you all. I personally think Ironheart is going to be, even though it's going to be Disney Plus, personally think it's going to be the project that brings Downey Jr. back as Tony Stark. Even though it'll probably be like a AI holograph Tony, I still think he will come back for that.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Because that plays such a big part in who Riri Williams is as a character. Like, you kind of need Tony Stark in some form, even if it is like a holograph time. And I think that would also give just enough time by the time the movie or the show comes out. It would give just enough time to where Downey Jr. would be like, you know what, I'll come back, because I'm not bringing Tony Stark back to life. I'm just returning as the character, even if it's like an AI version of him or something. Could be wrong, but I personally think they will do that, and that's what's going to get people on board for that show.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a bit too soon.
I agree.
With
Yeah.
Ironheart, I think I'm a little bit more excited with that than I am with like Wonder Man. I have like a little bit of information on Ironheart, but like I kind of want to see like that new generation, you know, because of the inspiration that like Tony Stark had with the Iron Man. You know, how did that transfer now that he's gone? And I'm actually really excited where they probably could take that, especially with her as a character. And you know how that ties in, you know, his legacy in a way of saying like, you know, with his, you know, not just with the Iron Man suits, but like, you know, with his mind and he did for the world, and he, you know, even in his company. So I really think, you know, what you're saying, like he may be a major part, you know, in Ironheart, and I really actually am excited to see that.
Do you think it's going to tie into Armor Wars? Because that's also supposed to be coming out kind of soon.
I think so.
Possibly.
Although Armor Wars is mostly going to be focused on Rhodey, I think. But, I mean, they could still tie that easily into
Still tie it in.
Ironheart.
Yeah, still tied in.
Looking
Yeah, you also like to piggyback Miss Cap. I know that Black Panther 2 is supposed to come out next year, and maybe Ironheart might be in it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure like the premise of Black Panther 2, but she might play a major role in it as well. So we'll
probably
see.
a minor role, but yeah, I think she'll be in it.
Yeah.
Because she like technically becomes like friends with Shuri, I think, right? I was doing research, so I was like, yeah. She has a like somewhat relationship with Shuri, so I'm pretty sure that's also come into play as well. So
yeah, the only thing. Oh wait, let me make sure I'm not muted. But the only thing is just
muted.
no. Well, I mean, like for OBS, like most of the times
okay.
you guys could hear me, but sometimes I mute my
stream,
mic for the stream. But
Gotcha.
it's just it for me. It just feels like it's in that Wonder Man and some of these other characters. It's like you now. I understood when they were doing it with Guardians and all that because they didn't have the rights or distribution for some of their other characters, more popular ones like the X-Men, Spider-Man, stuff like that. And it makes sense to go what I would consider scraping the bottom of the barrel. But now that they do have like 90% of their their characters with them, I find it weird that out of all the characters they have, they start choosing these like really weird ones that make you wonder why on earth would they bother with some of these. You know what I'm saying? It just it's weird. Why prioritize these over some other ones?
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like they're probably just kind of like they're probably just throwing all their names in like a little ball or something, like in a fish bowl, and they're just kind of like, hey, let's dip our fingers in
choose
that.
this
and then,
one.
yeah, let's go for it.
Marvel just
I
takes
think-
like characters.
He's also catering to people like, you know, like me and JT, people who just don't know anything or like have very little information about these characters in comics. They're just like, hey, what's a way that we can introduce these characters in a way that people may be interested in them, just like how we did, you know, 15 years ago. You know, I think that's probably where they're looking at. Or that's what I think. And so, like, I don't know who Wonder Man is, and I vaguely know Ironheart, and it's just like, seeing the same characters over and over again or being revamped in a different way. It's like, let's look at these new ones that are lesser known, and see what we could do with them to introduce a new lovable character, just like they did with, you know, Guardians. So,
Yeah, but also another thing is that Kevin Feige always have a plan. I mean, you know, I don't think he picked the ball and says, okay, let's do a Wonder Man series or Ironheart series. I think that down the line, 10 to 15 years from now, we're going to have a movie where Wonder Man and Ironheart coexist in
yeah.
some sort of capacity. That's why they introduced this now. By the time we get, in our
Secret
like
Wars.
35 or like 40 years old, we watch these like Marvel movies or TV shows like in theaters and also on Disney Plus. Like, oh, okay. That's how this ties in to a show that happened 15 years ago or so. So, again, like Marvel
Favorite
has this like
character.
decade-long scroll of like plans and whatnot, and they're just teasing us for like the future
Hey, let me-
events down the line.
Let me ask though, like, so is Wonder Man going to be a movie or is it going to be a show?
Show.
Jeez, I mean, like, that's the thing. That's another thing though too. I get it. Like, you're trying to build up these characters, but like, it's getting to the point where it's like a little too much. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm interested because, like, I mean, I love Marvel, but at the same time, like, I mean, I understand they're just kind of like, if they're gonna put like a movie, they're gonna cram everything all together. But I mean, like, that's why I think they're kind of losing the ball here because, like, definitely with like even like She-Hulk, like it's kind of going to a different direction, and like, I mean, at least Miss Marvel was a little bit of a redeeming factor because definitely like it's something a little bit new and a lot of cultural stuff. But do we really need a show of this, or can we just put this as a movie and move on?
Or even a side character in someone else's movie, like
Yes. Because, like, I mean, that's like a thing. Like, I mean, they're gonna end up like losing a lot of us through this voyage because, like, they're gonna just keep on throwing like all these side people, and then it's just gonna be like, well, is this like literally like 7 shows of like sidekicks? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just kind of like annoying. So, yeah, like, I mean, like I said, like, I wouldn't mind seeing a show, but I think, like, in situations like this, like, I would feel better off if they just go ahead and, like, like, what Oyman said about the, like, just being, like, a side, like, like a helper, like,
introduce him in someone else's movie, have his whole story be like a subplot in another story.
yeah.
They
Because
could
then it
easily
just...
do that.
Yeah, and then it would be so much easier to introduce that character now. At that point, if maybe like they wanted to give him his own little thing, sure, why not? But I mean, keep it light. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it into a whole freaking thing. Like, because Moon Knight was great. He deserved his. Okay, I will say that he deserved his, especially depending on the fact that they still haven't even introduced like his third persona.
Alter.
Yeah.
And they don't even have plans for a second season anytime soon, too. So it's like, how many things are we setting up that when are they going to get a payoff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing is just like, I get it. Like, I know this is like a big cash cow, but like they are really dragging this. And I mean, I get it. You're throwing more stuff out so we could watch more Disney Plus, and that's understandable, Marvel, but we need better shit together. Like, we need better storylines.
Yeah, something that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just these characters that they could make them really cool. But it's before I start getting burned out, because I know there are a lot of people out there who are getting burned out with some of the stuff the MCU puts, and it might be getting too much. Like, they're like, okay, my limit is watching 3 of these a year or something. Let's say.
Yep.
Like,
family.
Everybody has like breaking point type of deal, and even the hardcore fans, I'm pretty sure it could get overwhelming sometimes. So I would appreciate if they chose better stories that like Mr. Joestar said, characters and stories that most people want to see. That way, once it starts kind of getting long in the tooth, we go ahead and start seeing these characters that nobody gives a rat's ass about, really, and except for the like one person that's probably yelling through the screen, being like,
Wonder
I
Man!
was a Wonder Man fan, but
Nova series.
oh, shut up! Nova actually has a fan base. Nova has a fan base.
You are made of
But
Who's Nova?
Yeah, but Nova is the most popular character in the cosmic side of of Marvel when it comes to the
Star-Lord.
comics. No, even with Star-Lord, even with the movies, Nova comic wise has a bigger fan base than the
Okay.
Guardians. But
Okay, I agree with you, but here's the thing though, is just I will say this: Star Lord took the scene because of the movies. If Nova would have come out before Guardians and would have maybe led into the Guardians, yeah, like he probably would have been twice as big. But the problem was is that they chose like kind of like right now what they're doing is like they kind of chose something different, and then that's gonna take the scene. Who knows if Wonder Man, like we're gonna be all like saying, you know what, Wonder Man is the tits, you know, like we're gonna be like on board, right? But that's the thing is just like we don't really know, and
Well, yeah,
it
but-
sucks because
even then,
Nova
again,
could be treated like a Captain Marvel.
E-
character.
even-
Like,
even
people would be
again-
like, why?
even again,
Yeah.
what's it called?
Yeah.
It's just again, once it gets long in the tooth, bring out the Wonderments. Like that way, if I'm people like me are like I'm a little bit over it by let's say 2030, and I'm like I'd rather get Wonderman there where it would make it easier for me to just say like fuck it and just hop off the train and do stuff like that. But if we're waiting till 2030 and you're just now getting Wolverine,
Right,
I'm kind
yeah.
of forced
Eternals
to stay.
2.
Oh, jeez. I'm definitely.
I can't wait.
I'm definitely
wait.
not watching that
Bring
one.
it.
I barely made it through the first
Okay.
one.
But what if they go a whole new direction with Eternals 2, new director, new writers?
I don't care. I don't give a flying rat's ass about the damn Eternals even before their movie.
You also don't give a care about Miss Marvel, and like you said, you so yourself that it was better than you expected.
I would tolerate Miss Marvel more than the Eternals. I never liked the Eternals. in
We are
the comics.
Eternals.
The Eternals.
wasn't-
We're
I
here
always
to protect humanity from the deviants.
I always thought the Eternals were lame in the books way before the movie was even in conception. Miss
At
Marvel.
least they know more
I could
about
at-
the Eternals than Nova.
Not necessarily.
You got Eternals before Nova.
If you watch
Harry
the Spider-Man,
Styles.
show, that's for sure.
But what's it
I am
called?
excited for a Nova series once they actually.
I'm not a series. I want a movie. I don't want them.
Well, it's
to,
gonna be a series. It's not gonna be a movie.
I
but-
don't want them to drop the ball. I hope that at least we get them in Guardians 3
It's the guys
before
who
the
made.
movie.
It's the guys who
before a
made
show.
Moon Knight, though.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, you know how I feel about the damn Disney Plus when it comes to characters like Nova. You can't have a character like that on Disney Plus budget. You're either gonna sacrifice him being stuck on Earth and making it boring to where he's not Nova,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
he's gonna be in costume in space and it's gonna look very sketchy. So I'd rather
IMAX theaters.
if they are gonna make it a show, which is most likely what it is, I want his introduction to be in Guardians Volume 3,
Movie.
where we could at least see him the way he's meant to be seen
Or Eternals 2.
on the
Eternals
first
2. Oh, you just stole that.
on the
I was about to
first
say that.
on the first time. But like I said, it's just
You'll
those
go see
weird
Eternals
things.
2 if they use that to introduce Nova.
No, I'd still skip it. I don't care.
And the return of Black Bolt, and he dies a fourth time.
Oh, geez. You guys
They
are making.
reincarnate him, they blow him up, and then somehow he comes back in the same timeline, and then he's just like,
I guess
They got
well, it'll be the
bam.
third time because they technically slaughtered him with his portrayal in the first ABC Family show. So yeah, pretty
Nah.
bad.
I still haven't even seen those.
Don't.
Don't.
It's
That's why I didn't see them, because you
I
guys
still
told me
can't-
not to.
I
so.
can't believe they're doing a Wonder Man series. That just blows my mind. Like, even though I'll check it out, I'm just like, Wonder Man, really?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just these weird.
not even in a
ass-
WandaVision season 2 or something. Like, that would make more sense. Like, do
Well, no,
WandaVision
because
season 2 where she
WandaVision
meets
definitely.
Vision
WandaVision definitely felt more like a miniseries. That definitely
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but I'm saying it would make more sense to introduce Simon in like a series with Wanda, because WandaVision was super popular. So if they did a WandaVision season 2 where she reunites with the White Vision and then she meets Simon Williams, then that would be like a good introduction for his character, rather than just doing a full on series about Wonder Man, not
Well,
Wonder Woman, Wonder Man.
Based on how we saw Wanda last, that's kind of out the window. You can't just
Yeah.
have her come back and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you know the massacre and stuff I did? Forget that. Let's just make a lighthearted, campy thing where a love triangle happens." I just don't see that happening. But let's move on. So the third thing on the list of news is Tom Hardy shared a picture, which you could see on our little bulletin board there.
Yeah.
So apparently what he says is the last dance to the front of the Venom 3 script because it is complete, and I guess they're ready to start filming whenever they could get the green light for it. But I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, Fast and Furious said one last ride like 6 movies ago. So, and we know how Sony rolls. We talked about it before with like El Muerto and and probably Morbius too soon. And
Hey man, you don't know.
Look
Venom
here.
probably has family. You know, that's all he
They're
needs.
coming
3.
back. They're coming.
Morbius 3. It's Morbin time.
You can see I'm excited.
yeah, but so
I enjoyed
thought-
both
okay,
movies.
wait,
thought
like
that
you
Venom-
Great.
like you're sarcasm or no sarcasm? I can't tell
No
with how the
sarcasm.
panel
No,
nowadays.
legit do love Venom
He's got
1
family.
and
That's
2.
all he's got.
Hey.
Yeah.
I thought
I
that they
love
were
both
using
of them.
Venom to lean into him encountering Spider-Man, but apparently this
Nope.
third Venom movie is just going to be Venom and Toxin with no Spider-Man. Again, bro.
What?
Are they
Again!
are they
Don't worry about
are
it.
they still doing the multiverse Venom thing going on
I
or
don't
no?
know.
Who knows?
Wait,
And even
so
if
like,
they are, who cares? It's Sony.
wait, like, is Venom like in the Tobey Maguire like thing?
No,
or
he's the
is he-
Morbius
It's-
universe.
Wait, which
I
is
think
the
it's in
Morbius
the-
universe?
The Venom universe.
Yeah, but like that. No,
Andrew
like is the
Garfield.
Tobey
They have the
Maguire?
same,
Oh, so it's
Andrew-
Andrew
Andrew
Garfield.
Garfield.
No, it's neither. It's Sony said
It's
that's
its
not
own
going to be
thing.
Toby or Andrew. They'll have
Either way.
another Spider-Man. Maybe they'll use that for
Oh.
Miles Morales.
One.
Oh, that would be so
Okay.
cool. That
No,
would
it
be
wouldn't.
so cool.
If if Disney Marvel was doing it, then yes. But Sony, I would rather they just.
Yeah,
I would rather
I'm
they
sorry.
just
I just
stick
thought about
to-
that. I just thought about that. I was like,
That's what I
wait,
mean. Like, if it's Sony Animation doing their Spider Verse stuff, sure, yeah, I'm all game. But if it's Sony trying to do a live action Miles in their own Morbius Venom universe, we'll see. It could still be good.
But I have to give it one thing though. Like I think the whole Venom series have like defied expectations because the first one was kind of
First one was
okay, but the second one was like
Second one was better.
yes better, but then like it made over like $800 million. So they're like, okay, Tom
they're
Hardy
not
is a likable guy. The script for like the first two was kind of mediocre at best because like Tom Hardy co-wrote it, so he kind of knows what he's doing, right? That's what's in Sony's mind. But okay, let's make Venom 3, and then maybe we can introduce our own Spider-Man. Who knows? But I don't know. I mean, I am looking forward to Venom 3. The first two ones were kind of like popcorn entertainment. You know, they don't take anything seriously. It won't be rated R. There won't be a lot of blood. It'll just be like Venom and Eddie just going at it again with their relationship, and Toxin just be like the side chick who kind of sees it from the background and whatnot. So everything will be good.
Well,
Even though
I just
go
hope
ahead.
this new one is better than the last one, because the first one with a little bit of alcohol, it wasn't great, but it was.
the second one. Was
it-
better,
it
but
No, the second
here's
one.
the thing.
I wasn't
Okay,
even
okay.
drunk, and
here's the well.
I
That's
was
your
like,
problem.
what did
You weren't drunk.
what did I just watch? I don't know
Okay.
what I saw.
Think about what y'all are saying, okay? You're saying that like, oh well, you know, it'll just be a fun movie about Tom Hardy and Venom. You know, they're just like kind of like we've already gotten that twice. We don't need a third movie of just
We
that.
do need a third
We need
one.
them breaking
Why?
up once again.
Yes.
we do.
Third
And then
time's
they
the
get back
charm.
together,
Yeah, third time's the
Fight the bad
charm.
guy.
Yeah, break it up, get
and he's
come-
still
yes.
like, Anne will be a part of it, but she's still not gonna date him because Eddie, you're too troublesome.
You're actually going to bring up a point. Do you think in the third one, there's going to be She-Venom once again to break out Eddie from something?
Probably. I swear, it's gonna be the exact
Yes.
same movie. Just instead of Carnage, we'll have Toxin, and Toxin will be more of a good guy than a bad guy, but it'll be the same fucking movie.
I still,
Toxin's the
again,
one that's like white, right?
And I liked Venom too,
White
but
and
like
black.
I don't need it again. Like I have it. I don't
No,
need
no,
it.
no.
I don't need it again.
I saw that thing and I was like, wait, I thought this was going to be like Carnage and it'd be cool, and I'm like, yeah, let there be carnage. And then it was just Woody Harrelson wants to get married, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And then it was a retread of him and Venom kind of getting into it
Yeah.
again, and
Mhm.
by the end of it, I was like, Venom 2, let there be garbage, because that shit was trash.
I never actually saw the second one.
liked it.
It's about Carnage
I
wanting to
liked
get
it.
married, and that's about it.
And
It's a
about
rela-
Eddie and Venom going through a breakup and then getting back together again.
Yes.
Yep.
What the hell,
Just like the
dude?
first- just like the first.
See,
Just-
and that's like a really big thing for us because, like, I mean, we're all big Spider-Man fans. Like, I mean, this is where I don't understand why they can't just like listen to us or literally just go back to basics because, like, I mean, Carnage and Venom are supposed to be like they're supposed to be buddies, but they're supposed to be going against like Spider-Man. Like whatever happened to that? What's going on? I don't understand that. Like
Actually,
They
Spidey
didn't wanna
and
put
Venom.
another Spider-Man in
Spidey
here.
and Venom team up against Carnage. Carnage is a villain to both of them. So
well,
they
I
got
guess
that,
like
they got that aspect of it right, but they need to have Spider-Man in these fucking movies. That's the problem. They have the
Nice.
whole
yeah.
Morbius movie with no Spider-Man, El
Yeah.
Muerto Bad Bunny with no Spider-Man, fucking Kraven the Hunter with no Spider-Man. That one pisses me the hell off. I'm sorry.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, I mean, I get it. Like the relationship, it goes back and forth because, like, I mean, I still remember from like the old series, like the Future Spider-Man and like how Carnage and Venom were trying to take over and basically venomize like the whole world. But the thing is,
cool.
it's yeah. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, why don't we have some of that? Like, I mean. Those were two big like bad guys that were trying to like form each other and like help each other out, but then like why can't they go against Spider-Man? Like let it be a movie like that. I don't understand why we're going to this. Like I didn't even see the second movie, but now you guys are telling me, oh, it's all about just a breakup again. Like it makes no
and it's
sense.
90 minutes long, so they don't have any time to flesh anything out. It's just rush
Nope.
through it. And
Like-
and the third, if again, the end of the second movie leads into him being like, "Oh, I know who Spider-Man is," and then No Way Home just undid all that. So now there's no need for a third Venom movie if he's not going to actually meet Spider-Man. Maybe he
Yeah, that's
is.
true.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
which one?
Come on.
Jeez,
Come
double crap.
on.
There'd be like a double crap at least. You
Give
can't
it a-
just like.
Bit of love.
Crap, mega crap. I'll give you $200 for him.
Oh,
Okay.
Joe Jonah Jameson.
Okay. Interesting.
Secret Wars.
Garbage.
Yeah, of
Yep,
course.
it works.
Secret Wars.
Eternals too.
Love and Thunder.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Watch your next words. No! No.
It's morbid time.
Eternals was actually good. Maybe not great, but it was good. Morbius is toilet water. Look what you did. You just lost one of our viewers because of that. Way to go. Wait, but where's crap though? If crap and mega crap are the top, where's crap?
First crap.
I'm number one.
Well, number two.
Just the
All
crap
right,
diarrhea.
Oh damn!
Let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
I've been asking the stupid me has been asking the chat to vote, and my mic was muted.
Wow.
Good job, Tex Mex Morty guy. Oh wait,
Oh, they finished filming Crazy.
But,
you do.
so have you guys? I mean, I know Mr. Oyman. I know my co-host. He kind of knows where it's going. Me and him have had many discussions. But are you guys looking forward to seeing a bit more concrete evidence of where the MCU is headed off to in the next, I guess,
months?
couple years?
Yes.
Couple years.
And have you guys been catching the clues that Kevin Feige's talking about, or still kind of don't know where exactly it's going? You just have a small little general idea.
The Marvels?
Yeah,
What?
that's
No, the
probably good.
MCU in general.
No. I mean, I'm excited to see more concrete, but I have not caught on anything that's gonna happen.
Well, what is it? D23 is this year, ain't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
They're
and then-
skipping SDCC, so they'll do
Okay,
all
so
their
they're
announcements
skipping Comic-Con, and they're just probably going to announce this type of stuff
all their stuff in September.
on
D23.
D23. Okay.
Mhm.
Man, I wish I could go to one of those.
They'll probably confirm Krasinski.
I was just
for
thinking that.
Fantastic Four.
Hey,
That's
Mr.
my
Oyman, how
guess.
do you get into D23? You need to be a member of some sort, don't you?
Got to be like press or in the film industry somehow. I don't think you can just like. buy
No,
a
they
ticket
have
to it.
some sort of like program
The
where.
Screen Crusaders.
Oh, but
Oh, we're press.
I know that there's some sort of like a thing that you could be like a annual membership, and if you are, you get a chance to go to one of these. But maybe we should see if we could finesse our way into it, thinking that we're press and what's it called? Go there and
We have a podcast with 8 subscribers. We're press.
30
Work for the Daily
34
Bugle.
34.
34.
Thank you. That's
38,
like
38.
3 times the amount of Morbin subscribers than you mentioned. But
We'll go dressed up as Morbius. They'll let us in.
Oh God.
Who knows? We may blow up by the time this is over.
But that'd be
by the
fun.
time that happens.
But anyway,
Yeah,
so
that would be fun.
I do look forward to seeing when they announce this type of stuff. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and maybe we'll finally get a confirmation of Nova and no confirmation of Eternals 2, but I digress. So let's bring up our bulletin board real quick one more time. So let's move on to the topics. Miss Marvel episode 2. How do you guys feel about the show still after
Not
it's
all
wait, what did he say?
Sucks.
Ranking.
Oh,
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
It's all right. I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
all right.
Gonna-
Well, yeah, that's what
like
I was
how
gonna
it goes on
ask.
a little more with it. I did
Like, Miss Cap, I'll go with you first. Is it still about the same as last week, or did it kind of drop off for you a little bit? Where do you stand compared to
Eh,
your interest level?
it kind of dropped a little bit. I think on a point where she was just like, "Oh, I have powers now," and she's like wants to get all the glory, but she's like, "Oh, wait, I'm a superhero, which means I have to, I have to keep it a secret, but I'm gonna totally do a training montage and do absolutely nothing." And I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Oh
Get
man, that
it.
training montage.
You know-
Oof.
And then and I was just like, she does her, big save, it doesn't go well, so now she's gonna go, hide in a corner, but there's also trouble ahead, and I don't know. Keep watching, but this episode seemed kind of weak to me.
It's like a filler.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
almost like
Yeah,
a filler.
I could see that. What about you, JT? get you more hype? Did it get you about the same? Is it dropping your interest? Where do you stand?
Actually, for me, it's about the same because I think this episode had some no action at all, but especially at the montage, but especially with the culture impact, especially within the
Mhm.
Arabian like voting system, especially in the synagogues. And I think this
Moving on, D.
episode, like without the political stuff in terms of voting and to me the man and woman, like women just have rights within the religious context and everything. I think this episode should be like the blueprint of what Falcon and Winter Soldier should be about, to like the shield of stuff, or how like they kind of incorporated both the political and also being the superhero type in episode 2 much stronger than all of Falcon and Winter Soldier series in terms of the political and having the action. So I think that episode 2 did a really good job in that regard, but in terms of the action impact, didn't really have that much. But I did like the political aspect in terms of, a woman kind of running to be like the voice, of the synagogue type thing. So that was really interesting to me.
Yeah, Mosque. But
Yeah,
but
Mosque.
same,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yes, Mosque. Yeah.
And you, Mr. Joestar, you still?
Okay.
How do you feel about the show overall so far? Did anything in this episode stand out for you, or did it, like Miss Cap said, do you feel like it was just filler?
Well, I mean, I was the one that mentioned that, but yeah, like the thing is, it's like, yeah, it was a bit of a filler, but that's okay. Like the thing is, it's like this is a show. The whole purpose of a show is to basically build up the character, right? We're understanding where they come from, what world they live in, and how they're going to end up at the end, right? Was the same thing for Moon Knight, was the same thing for a lot of these other shows that they're doing. It's just a filler. And it's going to be a filler up until like maybe the last 2 episodes. So yeah, like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, she's like already flying or something like that. Like, I mean, it was okay, but the thing that just kind of killed me was the training. I don't know. What the hell was that? Like, that was really bad, like cable wires that she had, because it looked like she tripped when she was doing the little step things when she was training, and then like the last one, like she like weirdly hovered. I don't know. I just kind of was just like, oh, she fucked up. But but overall, like, it was actually not bad. Like, I mean, it's just like I said, it's just a filler. It's fine. It's not like anything like drastic.
Yeah, but
The only thing is, it's like they actually introduced something that could, could actually explain the abilities or whatever. So that was the only interesting part, which was to actually introduce someone at the end to be like, hey, I've been looking for you. And then it's just like, oh crap, well, you and the FBI people are looking for me, so I guess I don't know what I'm gonna have to do with this. But
Yeah.
But see, when you mentioned about filler this early on, you mentioned Moon Knight and such like that, but I don't think Moon Knight had this level of filler right off the bat.
No.
It felt
Yeah.
like it was
Yeah.
more,
well,
like it served more of introducing more of his character and who he is and stuff like that, a little bit more effective than this. It didn't come off as
Well,
weird and fillery feeling.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to tell you something about that. Because of the fact that Moon Knight was already built. He was already built. He was already that hero. And it was just trying to figure out who is who and what's going on, because you just basically start off with like Steven and stuff like that. But here they're literally coming from the ground up. So yeah, like
I get
of course
you.
it's not going to be you get it, because like it's not going to be like so into it, because of the fact that like it's just a kid and she just got like a wristband, and then finally she's just starting to realize like, hey, this has abilities and blah blah blah. But Moon Knight was already introduced, like he's already a badass. He's already killed people. He's already done all this stuff.
He's
Now you're
already
just trying
cool.
to figure. Yeah. You
Yeah.
already. You're just basically cutting him. You're just seeing him right there in the middle.
He ain't
of
no scrub.
all the Yeah, like I mean, all the shit show that he's in, he's just like already having people chasing him. He's already basically in trouble. I mean, what's his name? The god was already in trouble with the other gods, saying, "Hey, we don't
Khonshu.
really." Yeah, Khonshu was already in trouble with the other gods, basically, saying, "Oh, well, we don't really trust you since you're with the humans and blah blah
Mhm.
blah." So, like, it was a lot of back and forth with like a bunch of stuff that we didn't even know about, but like, oh well, some of us did, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot more to go to other than this. This is literally a character from the ground up, not knowing what the heck is going on. We don't even know who this lady is or that boy that jumped off like his damn like balcony and like went into his pool and he come out like super hot supposedly, and it's just kind of like so weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Gonna
my
be her
gosh,
cousin.
teenage
Yeah.
hormones like going wild. Like, it's totally what you know what that kind of annoyed me. It's like, okay, so your kid like defied you and then came back, and then it's like, hey, can I go to another party? Like, no, dude, you're
That was
fucking
weird.
grounded. Like, you're
Yeah.
grounded. This is an
That was weird.
actual
Well,
party.
that and
Especially
Mr.
because that party was
yeah.
the first party in the
And I was
first
gonna say,
comic that
Mr.
her mom was
Oyman,
like, there are boys there.
it would have made more sense,
Um,
like you said last week. It would have made more sense to say it for a party rather than Avengers Con.
yeah, yeah.
But
So that was like the ignorance that I was just like saying, like, yeah, that's like every stereotypical like old school family. Like, they think there's boys and there's gonna happen, the snoo snoo, is gonna happen.
Drinking.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
like that's the thing, is just like you think like this is gonna happen, but no, like I mean, now she's going to a party and it's okay. Like, that made no sense. Like, I was just kind of like, I don't know what the hell happened. Like, so now you're like, okay, yeah, you could just do whatever you want. I'd rather have you do whatever you want other than running, off on your own. So
and before I
I'm-
get to Mr. Oyman's thoughts, real quick, I closed the poll and there was only 3 voters. Thank you to those who voted, but 66% voted that it was Venom 1 and 2 were mega crap, and the other 33%, aka the other vote, said it was just crap, aka crap number 1, not crap number 2. So there you go. So that's
Okay.
that's what people thought of
Mega crap.
mega crap.
All right, mega crap, fantastic.
But Mr. Oyman, any standouts in this episode for you? I know you're probably the one out of all of us who is enjoying this show a bit more. So what kind of caught your attention, I guess, would be a good way of putting it? Like, what was your standout moments for this episode?
So there were a couple. First of all, I do like how the show is sort of expanding the MCU in a number of ways. One thing that caught my attention was how we saw the Department of Damage Control going after Miss Marvel. We see that they have the drones that they obtained from Peter Parker at the beginning of No Way. And now they are in
I did.
possession. They are
Those
in
did look
possession of
familiar.
Stark Tech.
Oh, okay.
They're in possession of Stark Tech, which probably lead into Armor Wars eventually. Also, there were a couple little lines here and there I liked. The shout out to Ant-Man looking younger than he really is, like that was kind of funny, as well
Yeah.
as Iman Vellani herself looking younger than she really is. She's playing a 16-year-old, and she's like actually. There were little moments like that I thought were pretty cute.
She's
Her
what?
cousin, she's 19 in real life, but her character's
Okay.
like 16.
Okay.
Her cousin, or I guess I don't know if they haven't really revealed that Kamran is her cousin, because when her brother runs into the two of them at the restaurant, she's like, "This is our cousin." But in the comics, that character actually is her cousin, and he's kind of more of a bad guy in the comics. I don't know if they'll totally go down that road.
The lady
in the
that he
show, but
that was in the car with him, she actually did look like she was one of Kamala's relatives, wasn't she?
yeah, she is.
Yeah, she was the one with the visions. Like, she kept on
Mhm.
seeing her.
Also,
okay.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but the little kid that she saved that like broke his ankle when he fell down onto the car, he was the little shoe thief that took her friend Nakia's shoes. He was wearing her shoes at the end, and that could be
Oh.
partially why he like hurt his ankle. when he fell
That's what he
down off the car.
gets.
Yeah, that's what you get for being a little shoe thief, you little fucker. But I liked how they did confirm that what's her name? I mean, they didn't confirm that that Kamala is a Inhuman necessarily, but they definitely alluded to that with the band, the little bracelet thing, not actually giving her powers, but unlocking the powers that she already had within her. So I think
Well-
they might actually use this as an opportunity to sort of reintroduce the Inhumans.
And I wouldn't be surprised if her grandma or whoever that lady is, not necessarily is an Inhuman, but had like a romantic
The
elope
Eternals.
with the Inhumans, the cooler.
or the Kree, because the Kree also have a
Interesting.
they have a hand in how the Inhumans were created, and plus with this being connected with Captain Marvel, who has connection with the Kree, I think that this show, by the end of it, we will all see that it does connect with the larger MCU more than we're expecting. It's just not super obvious in your face right now, and I do expect these next few episodes to just kind of do what this second episode did, sort of throw in little things here and there that do kind of build the overall universe. in
Well,
ways
yeah,
that not
because
everyone's
they're
expecting.
trying to expand the cosmic universe side of it, and she kind of gets carried along by default by having that Miss Marvel name and being idolized or idolizing
Idolizing
Captain
Carol
Marvel.
Danvers and all that.
Captain Marvel, who obviously is a good way to get into the cosmic side.
And you and I talked about this earlier. Is like it doesn't make any sense that she would be a huge Captain Marvel fan because nobody fucking knows who Captain Marvel is. She's
Yeah,
been
no, she was in the
gone.
90s and under secret,
The
like
90s
kept a
under
secret,
yeah,
and then she
showed
left
up
for
in
like 40
Endgame.
years.
She showed up in Endgame. I guess you could say that maybe when she came, like after they killed Thanos, maybe she came back and like, introduced who she was to the whole world, along with the remaining Guardians and everything else,
But
remaining
that
Avengers.
just-
But
That's just
But
a
even-
lot
but
of like,
you're right. That's a lot of like filling in the blanks.
yeah, filling
with
in the blanks
assumptions.
yourself. Like
It's all
fan-
assumptions.
Yeah,
and
fanfic type assumptions, but it's until
it's clear
they
that they're just using. It's kind of funny. They're actually using a more likable character to connect to one of their most unlikable characters in Carol Danvers to try to get more people on board with that character because they realize she's supposed to be a big player moving forward, and that's why they're going to kind of use characters like Rambeau from WandaVision and Miss Marvel from this show to kind of boost the Captain Marvel sequel. Hopefully, get people more on board with that. And I feel bad because I do think Brie Larson is a pretty good actress.
well,
cast well
she's
for the
not so much the
character.
problem. Is even
It's the character. It's
the
writing.
character, and
Yeah.
even before she
Mhm.
got her own movie, back when she was in like Earth's Mightiest Heroes or some of the other comic book runs back in the day, like 2000s, 90s, stuff like that. Her character was just not very likable to begin with. She always came off as like kind of a
Better
bitch.
than you.
Yeah, like
She had this sense
Bossy,
of entitlement that
yeah.
definitely carries over in the films. But although I would argue it's not actually as bad in the films as it is.
no.
in the comics.
That's what I'm saying. In the TV
They've toned
shows,
it down a
cartoons,
bit.
and comics, when she pops up, she was just downright unlikable. Like at least the movie version toned that like
It's tolerable.
like
but
yeah
not-
that like pompous like attitude down significantly. But even then, I didn't care for her movie. It felt like how JT kind of feels about Black Widow. The movie is kind of how I feel about that movie.
I was gonna say though, like, I mean, do you think they're gonna try to do that? Like, they're gonna try to do like Miss Marvel, like they did Black Widow. Like, maybe it's just like a thing of before, like, which would introduce her to like the more of the public, so that they could actually finish that part off or something. Because, like, you're right, she wasn't really shown. She wasn't really shown. I mean, it could be a bad thing, like throwing her at the end. I mean, like,
She'll definitely show up in the show. I'm 100% certain of that without knowing anything.
Probably like an
for
end
sure.
credit.
Yeah, well, not. I don't
Very-
even know if it'll be an end credit. I feel like she'll straight up come in at the finale of this show and like
I don't know.
we'll see,
I think
and,
probably
we'll,
end
and we'll,
credit.
we'll see Miss Marvel like or
girl
Kamala
power.
geek out. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I didn't read any leaks or anything. I'm just guessing.
I hope she has a better
What's
haircut.
what's Brie Larson doing? You know.
Yeah, what the heck?
But I will
not
say,
much.
didn't they? I thought
Her
like,
hair's grown out now. They showed her at the end of Shang-Chi. She has her hair.
Yeah.
but I thought like they didn't really care for her as an actor. Like, didn't like they have like a big old thing
Yeah,
where
she
they
was kind of a B word on the press tour.
a B word? I mean,
Really?
She's a straight up bitch. Yeah, like people were like straight up like really pissed off with her. Like they didn't really like working with her. Like
She
I
was
thought
being
that
like
was.
she-
very,
I
she
thought that
like,
was
talking
just.
down to all men and all that.
I thought that
Wasn't
was just
a
the like
character.
neckbeards that were
No,
like
no,
making
no. It was
it
Brie
bigger
Larson
than.
was like she was legit like being like, oh well, if you don't like my character, well this movie wasn't even made for you. So if you're a man, you should just shut up and not have.
I don't like it when actors do that. It's
Ooh.
like
No.
it's like
And,
making
like,
excuses.
the other actors of the
before.
Avengers were like not getting along.
That's
I
how
hope
you
that
get-
she's.
That's how you
Gotta
get
get
blacklisted.
booted.
Well,
And
hopefully,
Amber Hearded.
hopefully, hopefully that gets turned around if it was true. Because it just
it didn't get out of hand or anything. It was just like celebrity gossip and shit.
She's gonna end up in Uber Eats commercials.
oh geez.
Ended up shopping at TJ Maxx.
She's already on the like Jeep commercials or something like that, some sort of car commercial. But
She's already now in the Fast and Furious franchise. So
oh no,
Oh yeah, she is.
Oh god.
Actually, at this point, who is it? I don't know, man. It's like
Jason Momoa is. too.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
well, I could expect it from him. He's usually working with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers.
Well, no, that's Universal though. That has the Fast and
No,
Furious
I know. I'm
franchise.
saying, but anyone usually working with Warner Brothers is
They
already
kind of stick
on
to
a-
them. Yeah.
It's already on
Yeah.
the sketchy list of career choices. I mean, look at Ezra Miller, but let's not
Okay,
derail
let's
it.
not
No,
get
we don't
into
make it
that.
Let's
into
not
that.
derail it with
Not
Ezra
get into
Miller.
that.
We just like lost everybody
Well, that'll
just
be
by
a
speaking
whole
his
other
name.
show.
Um,
We need to not
Wait.
talk about Ezra.
but what's it called? Back on track though, because we are over the 1 hour mark and we haven't even
Yeah.
reached the phase 3 ranking, and I do want to get to that, so I don't want to have to cut it off for next week.
Let's jump right into it then.
Yeah, so we'll start with you, co-host. Then let's go ahead and hear what your thoughts are, or your top phase 3 movie was.
Top 3. Okay, well, I
Or you want to
did
actually
rank
go
them.
run down and
um,
remind everyone
yeah,
which
I'll-
movies
I'll,
were in there?
Yeah, so I'll go over them in release order. So the phase 3 consists of Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers: Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers: Endgame, and Spider-Man: Far From Home. I actually forgot to add.
Jeez.
So
Right.
that's
Goodness
11
gracious.
movies.
Seven.
11 movies in phase 3, all within the span of like 4 years, I think. This was
like
when
3
Marvel
years.
started.
3 years. It was from
Four if you
2016.
include
16 to
16
19.
to 19.
2017, 2018, 2019. That's 4 years. So if I were to rank them, I would obviously put Captain Marvel at the bottom. I didn't think it was awful like some of you did. I still enjoyed it, but it was definitely the weakest. And then right above that was a movie that I actually enjoyed a lot more rewatching it recently, but I still like everything else better than it, and that would be Ant-Man and the Wasp. I still prefer Ant-Man 1, but I did think Ant-Man and the Wasp was pretty decent.
Mhm.
Right above that at number
Mhm.
9, I'd have Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
You're actually going through
uh,
like the whole list?
I'm just gonna be quick about it.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought we were just doing, like,
They just are
Top 2
Your
and
favorite.
the worst one.
Okay, so the bottom of the list would be Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. The top of the list would be Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, elaborate on your, like, out of those top 3 that you pick, which one would you pick probably as your favorite? And just kind of elaborate on that a little.
I would probably say Endgame was my favorite. It was the one that everyone was kind
Yeah.
of expecting to be
Interesting.
the best. And even though I, in some ways, for me, Endgame was like it did everything that I wanted from it, almost to a point to where I didn't even expect it to. Like, it went further than I thought it would go.
It was definitely a love letter to the fans.
Yeah, it was a love letter
Mhm.
to everything. I thought that I really liked how it tied every aspect of the MCU, even shows like Captain or Agent Carter, even the lesser films like Thor, Dark World. Like, they did a good job at making everything in the MCU feel relevant and really rewarding the fans for watching everything. I personally would have wanted once everyone showed up in the portals, I would have liked to have seen that the end battle go on just a little bit longer, but that's more of a personal thing. I actually think
Yeah.
the way it went down was actually made for a better movie because it was a little bit tighter, the pacing was better. Everything built up and built up all the way to the I am Iron Man moment. I like dropped my jaw on the floor, and I thought the ending was just perfect. I had really no qualms with it. Despite the whole like Captain America thing being a little bit confusing, I think, in terms of like, oh well, how is he there if they already established that going back in time creates a new timeline, blah 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 blah. But it's like
Yeah.
they
Didn't
the,
like that.
if you think about it, you can kind of make sense with it, but it's sort of like the thing we mentioned with
Yeah.
Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. You have to like make a couple of.
Really wish they
will
would
say-
show that.
Yeah, it would be fun to kind of see that, but at the same time, we were getting to a 3-hour movie. We didn't really need to
Yeah.
see Cap Return the Stones, but I'd like to see that as like a Disney Plus series.
That should be a short.
And
Yeah.
then I have Infinity War just directly behind it. The only reason why I thought Endgame was superior to Infinity War is because I really liked what Endgame did for the character of Steve Rogers. I felt like he definitely got the short end of the stick in Infinity War, even though I loved everything else about Infinity War, especially the ending. But both movies are like right up at the top of my MCU ranking. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and what about you, Mr. Oyman? You just went. What about you, Johnny Joestar? Top
well,
2,
I-
best one, and the worst one.
Oh, the worst one. Well, I mean, I actually agree with what Mr. Oyman said. Basically, like the first one would be Endgame, because it was what it was supposed to be. It was the end all to be all, like with this big finale of like Thanos. So it's a climax. It's Star Wars Episode 3. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely like what everybody wanted, and we finally got to see it, and everybody loved it. So I mean, that was just it. We definitely had like all these like characters that you've seen with all these freaking movies that have come out, and then they're finally together with this like one big push to finally like fight Thanos for a second time, which technically, I mean, it wasn't even that same Thanos, it was a different one. And we finally won. And it sucks, like, because they unfortunately like lost like some good people, but at the end of it, like, I mean, it actually shares heartbreak, but at the same time, hope for the future.
not
But,
happy to kill
um,
Black Widow.
Yeah, I mean, they killed her even more by by bringing her back like a little too late. But basically, like,
Phase 3.
yeah, I mean, definitely, Endgame was one of the big ones, and then, yeah, I would definitely agree with the whole Infinity War. Infinity War was definitely a great start to it, but like I said, it was basically leading up to Endgame, so we were just mostly just excited to see what was going to happen. As far as like the worst, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sound like a racist when I say this, but I don't really care for Black Panther. Like, it was cool, but I felt like that was just like a filler of like just the city, and like
I think it
I
could
mean,
have been better.
yeah. Like, it could have been way better. Like, I mean, but they kind of just like threw him in there in the middle of it, and then they just didn't really make him bigger than what he was supposed to be. Because, like, I mean, we got like a whole city, and then they kind of just introduced like, you know, Killmonger and like what is it, like
Shuri, M'Baku, Claw.
yeah, like, I mean, and like they were killed off like so fast. Like, it was just kind of like one of those things where you're just kind of like, okay, well, that was kind of pointless. Because, like, I mean, same thing with like Mrs. Marvel. Like, I just didn't really. Oh yeah, sorry, Captain Marvel. Like, I just didn't really. I didn't really like care for him as much. But I mean, Black Panther, I really wish they would have done more with him. But definitely when it came out, like, I mean, I still went to go see it. I was still excited. I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I feel like they kind of cut it off a bit too short. Like, I was just kind of like, what the hell? Like, they should have done more stuff with him. Like, especially since he's like a big part of like the like the Avengers. Like he was supposed to be a big part of them because guess what? Like even though Tony Stark was the smartest dude, like his technology was not as up to par as it is in Wakanda. Like Wakanda is like way ahead of us.
Yeah.
And like, and that's another thing is it's like they kind of like, you know, brought it down to like a bare minimum where they did use it, and I enjoyed it a lot when they used it on Infinity War. But again, like they just kind of seem like pussies because guess what? Like they got their ass beat by Thanos, which is understandable because he's like the conqueror of all, you know, of the universe and stuff. Especially with that Infinity Gauntlet, they had no chance. But definitely, Black Panther really needs a reboot, like a better
I
one.
really liked what Black Panther did too. Like it was really cool exploring a whole nother culture and you know seeing the different seeing Wakanda realized, even though I think they could have definitely done more with Wakanda. And I really liked the music a lot. The music was great, but I thought that third act really let the whole thing down for me. I was not impressed with the third act at all.
Yeah.
And Black Panther himself, T'Challa, was like he's a great character in the comics, and
it will be missed.
Chadwick was amazing, but
he was underutilized.
The writing of it, it was very underutilized, and I was like, this could have been something really, really amazing. And I'm glad that people like it. It definitely was a historical kind of film for what it did, but it just we'll see. Maybe the second one will kind of do what the first one sort of.
Well, the second one's
so,
just in a weird spot, though. That's why I have. I don't know how they're gonna handle that one. It's just
same way DC's gonna handle Flash.
But what about you, Miss Cat? What would your ranking be?
You know, this is hard. I was talking about my top. Now, kind of a tie between Captain America: Civil War and Infinity War. Just Captain America: Civil War kind of has a special place in my heart because it was actually like the first MCU movie I saw. Really like got into it. It really got me into wanting more about the fandom and stuff like that. And so it like how I became how I am today. Like before like Civil War, I was just like, oh yeah, I love the MCU. It's great. I saw the movies. They're great. But like Civil War really drew me in to it. So like that has a special place in my heart. But I really have to give it up to Infinity War. I really enjoyed it. And just the ending of like half of the universe getting snapped at the end was just so like left field that it left me like what's gonna happen next. Like it blew my mind. Like having all these characters that that we've seen throughout the years come together, fit in a way that you didn't expect them to fit, and team ups that you didn't expect to really team up, and just see how they all fit together and work together to go this common goal, even though they failed, which again was also like a big thing. Like, oh my god, how can superpowered people fail? And it was just like, yes. And so I think that's why I have to give it up to Infinity War. Yeah, just like, and you knew there was going to be a second part, but you're like, after the ending of Infinity War, you're like, what are they going to do? Yeah. It left like this big giant like, what if? Like, what's going to happen?
It's not like they had the next one ready to go the next month or something. Like, it was a year-long wait. That Spider-Man died. Black Panther died. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, so it just left, like, this, like, gaping, like, what's going to happen? Yeah. I mean, like, I just have to give it up. I've watched it so many times trying to figure it out. It was crazy. My least favorite, I have to give it to Captain Marvel. It wasn't that interesting as much as I would like to give it. I just didn't really enjoy it as much as I possibly could have.
Yeah.
That came out like right before Endgame because it was supposed to set her up, and then we don't want this. We want Endgame, but you have to give it to us because she's going to be in Endgame, and they're just like, here you go, this is her backstory, and they're just like, do we really need to know? Because she
wasn't naturally introduced.
Yeah.
It was super forced, like, right.
And then she wasn't even in Endgame half the time.
No, that was the crazy thing. She was in the movie for 5 minutes. Like, really?
Like, it made no sense.
Whole ass movie.
So that's like, I gotta put her at put that movie at the bottom. So it's like, yeah, it was fun, but like it didn't really need to be made. Put
I mean, like,
they could have put Black Widow in there more than Captain Marvel, and I would have been okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But see, can I like throw something out there though too? Like, I mean, what happened to is his name Black Adam? No, I'm sorry, that's DC.
That's DC.
Adam, what is it? The Adam, is it Adam?
Black Bolt?
No. It's from Guardians of the Galaxy. It is the
Oh,
dude that gets
Adam.
created by the by
Warlock.
the gold. Yeah, Adam Warlock. Oh my
He's
god.
going to be
Warlock.
next year. Next year they're going to go
Next
into
year.
that.
Bound 3.
But see, like, why now though? Why, like, he was supposed to
Oh,
be
I
the
have no
one that
idea.
fights. That he was supposed to be the guy that fighted Thanos. He would have been a great replacement for like Captain Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
Like,
Just
it would have
Captain
been
Marvel's
way better off.
relevant.
They're doing a whole different thing from the
Yeah,
comics with Adam Warlock.
Yeah, Adam Warlock.
You know,
Yeah.
Nebula never got the gauntlet in the movies, just like she did in the comics. Like they're
Well, there's
changing a lot of
different
stuff.
there's different versions of Adam Warlock, and they're definitely gonna there's different ways you could take that character. Yeah, his most notable run was during the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War storylines, but overall he's gonna show up later. At first I was wondering, like you, I'm like, they're doing Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet without Adam Warlock, but it definitely made more sense the way they did it, and it leaves different storylines that you could go with Warlock after Volume 3 of Guardians.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they introduced him in Guardians 2, and that's so stupid. Like, that's what.
Hints and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was
Teased him,
straight up
yeah.
right there. It's like, oh, he's in the cocoon, like, he'll be ready, kind of a thing. And I'm like, okay, well, where the hell were you, dude? Like, you missed the whole fucking party. Like, you slept right through it. Like, what
Same
happened?
thing with Eternals.
Well, again, I don't think they're gonna do the Space Jesus type Adam Warlock version. They're probably gonna do the more modern DNA run with the Magus and all that type of deal going on.
James
Okay.
Gunn's got something up his sleeve for that.
Yeah, so there's different versions.
Because he was
that you could
planning,
go.
he was planning on using Warlock in his Guardians 3 movie before, Infinity War.
Okay, well, but still, it's
But
a
it
big
would've been
bummer.
cool. I agree. It would have been cool to see him in a proper.
Better than Captain Marvel. I mean, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Well, I'll get to why Captain Marvel is the least favorite of mine. Spoiler later, but we'll have the thoughts of Mr. JT go first before me.
Yeah, so here's my top 2. This was a hard list, like Ms. Cap said, but number 1's got to be Infinity War for me. Because I think Infinity War is a more complete movie than Endgame, even though Endgame helped, again, tie up some loose ends in terms of getting, find Thanos once for all. I think that Infinity War, like the main thing of like them coming together, trying to defeat the unbeatable Thanos, I think is really complete and really like all these deaths, which is really interesting to me and sad to me at the same time. But I thought that Infinity War is a complete movie than Endgame. That's just my opinion. And also my second one was gotta be Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is up there in my top 10. I think the introduction of like bringing comedy, bringing colorful characters, and
It was
bringing,
funny.
That was Guardians.
Yeah, Taika Waititi comediness to the Thor franchise was really interesting, and I enjoyed every minute of it. My least favorite, it's got to be Captain Marvel. I saw it in theaters on my birthday. I did not like it at all.
Damn,
Shocker.
it's getting like wrecked on this podcast.
It's boring.
It's just there.
Captain Marvel. I mean,
It was a committee movie.
yeah, it had no point whatsoever. She wasn't in Endgame over there like in 5 minutes, like you guys said. So it was boring. Speaking of Black Panther, me and Miss Cap and my family, we saw it in theaters. A lot of the African American people, saw it in theaters, and I thought that this movie was a great cultural impact, but it is not in my top 10. Is my top 15. The reason why is because the third act kind of blew it for me, especially this whole like the history of again, like it's so hard to create a movie associated with African Americans if you don't talk about slavery, which kind of this movie kind of hinted at, of course, because you have to when we're talking about African Americans. But I get like Black Panther was a great movie. It made billions of dollars at the box office because it happened in Black History Month, which is genius, by the way, for Marvel. But to me, it didn't resonate with me as some of these other movies on my list. But I think tied with Captain Marvel and Black Panther is kind of least of my favorite in Phase 3. Just is my opinion. So, yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So I guess if you all have gone, I guess it's my turn to do my ranking. A lot of good points that I actually agree with for most of what you guys said. So we'll just start off with my least favorite. As it comes to no surprise, as mentioned earlier, it's Captain Marvel. It's just, I did not like that movie. It was very, like, Phase 1 feeling in the worst way possible. Not saying, like, Phase 1 movies were bad or anything. It felt like it was the wrong time to have a generic feeling movie like that, especially that late in the game when everything was about to be wrapped up. Everything was like, you're coming off the heels of Infinity War, which was like crazy, and then you're leading into something that has the potential to be even more crazy, and you're just mid as hell, just stuck right in the, or not even mid, just below mid, like not horrible, but just like whatever. Like it was crap and mega crap. But what's it called? And I hate her for another personal reason, and it's what would have made Infinity War just so much better for me. And Mr. Oyman said it. So in the original script for Infinity War and what Captain Marvel would have been, her role was supposed to be basically Richard Rider's role. And they gave it to the Hulk in Infinity War and it did make more sense to send him. But originally they were going to have it start off with Thanos just destroying the Nova Corps, and my boy Richard Rider, the actual, not Sam Alexander, not one of the other ones, Richard Rider himself was going to be going to go recruit the help of the Avengers to try to stop Thanos, and he probably would have had the cool scene at the end of Endgame where he comes into the atmosphere and crashes onto the spaceships, and he probably would have had a bigger role than Captain Marvel herself did in Endgame, and he would have probably had a freaking movie. So the fact that he got benched in favor of Captain Marvel, when I read those articles confirming my suspicions, I was just sitting there throwing chairs around just like Ryan Gosling. And it I don't know, it just what could have been is what I'm hung up about, still salty to this day about it. And it just makes me like that movie even less that we did get with Captain Marvel, because it took a character that would have been so cool and had so much potential to just give us something so bland and generic that literally almost put me to sleep. I was staying home one day and put it a sick and put it on Disney Plus, and the only thing that got me through it was that Flarkin cat right there. But
the cat.
Yeah. But
the whole movie reminded me of Lightyear in a lot of ways.
But it was
the best part of the movie.
It was just like, no, it made it even more unenjoyable for me. It was just, I almost fell asleep. The potential of what could have been, and it was just, what we got was not worth it. And then my favorite one.
Wait, hold on. What else would be at the bottom of your list besides Captain Marvel? We all put our bottom two. Would you put right above that?
That's a hard one, because I got two that I just didn't care much for, and it's both a unpopular opinion, because these two were really beloved by people, and that would either be interchangeable between Black Panther or Thor Ragnarok. I did not care for either one of those.
Okay.
They were just like Black Panther. I feel like there was, as I mentioned before, it was untapped potential. I feel like it was there was some interesting concepts there, but they just kind of didn't go where they should have, and that third act really took away from it. Like, you could have handled that so much different based on what you did show with the first 2 acts. It could have gone somewhere really cool with it, and it just dropped the
Instead of
ball.
redoing Phantom Menace, same exact.
And then I've mentioned Thor Ragnarok that I didn't care for it plenty of times. It was mainly just the humor did not stick with me. I know a lot of people like the director's type of humor, but it just came off as cringe to me. And it took 2 stories that could have been really cool, and just for me didn't feel like they meshed them well together. Like, in their own, the Planet Hulk aspect to it is okay, and the Hell aspect to it was okay too, but the way they meshed them together just felt out of place for me. It just felt like it was 2 conflicting movies trying to fight for the limelight or the spotlight in there, and I don't think he blended in as well as it could have been.
Like totally. They need a Planet Hulk. Like, they should have done that. They really should have done that at least before Thor, and then it would have made sense, you know. But they should have done that.
And then for my top 2, let's go for my top 1, because then they'll put the other one into the. But I had a really hard time because between Endgame and Infinity War. I know that's usually the top 2, but that's just because it was a testament of how great these movies and just the MCU as a whole was. Endgame kind of I would have to put, unfortunately, at the second spot. And it's just it hits me in a weird spot because I do love Endgame for certain reasons more, but it's kind of for the wrong reasons. It's just for like my fanboy type of stuff that I love it. Like, it brought a conclusion. It took me down memory lane, and that third act, damn it just, like, when I was in the theater, if I had one of those Fitbits, like, I was literally like, my heart rate when they were battling Thanos and Cap was beating him with the hammer, but then he's almost he almost gets killed, and I was like not only scared for Cap due to like contractual stuff with the MCU and all that, so you know that him and Iron Man were probably gonna either die or retire or something like that. So there was a sense of danger there, and just when the portals happen and in that IMAX theater with the crowd kind of also feeling the same energy, I literally was feeling my heart rate go up and was getting like goosebumps, even freaking teary-eyed a bit. Like, I don't know why, it just, there was so many emotions inside of me. I was so pumped up. I felt like I was right there on Captain America's left. And it was when he yelled Avengers Assemble and all that, it was just everything that you could have wished for at that moment. It just, it was something I never knew would have happened. Like, it was like that speech that
like Braveheart.
Yeah, like that speech that Tony says in his like eulogy when they're recording or showing his recording. It's like, if you would have told me 10 years ago like what this universe would be, like, I wouldn't believe you. And that's how we all felt in the audience. It was just so surreal, and it was and they gave such a beautiful send off to my favorite character in the MCU, Captain America. It was just I ain't afraid to admit that I actually shed a couple tears when it was over, just seeing him dance with Peggy. It's just one of those things that it's like seeing a childhood friend growing up with him. And it was, because when these characters first came on screen, most of us were early teens. It was when we were still very impressionable, and just seeing 10, 11 years later still being attached to these characters. It was like seeing your friend go off and like get married, and you know you're still going to be friends, but he's going to be like moving to the other side of the country, and you're not going to be seeing them as often. So it's like the end of Toy Story 3, like, so long, partner. Like, thanks for the great memories. Whenever we do get together, it's going to be amazing, but I know it's not going to be the same as it is. It's a bittersweet farewell. So I feel like they just handled so many emotions very well, and it was just so exciting. But it just, as a standalone movie, it definitely feels like a part 2. and that's where Infinity War for me does it a bit better. It just feels like its own movie. It's easier to watch. I know that there is a time difference of like half an hour, but the fact is, once Infinity War gets going, it's like nonstop.
never
You don't.
stops.
It
Stops.
just
It
it
does
does
not
not
stop.
feel, and it's not. It doesn't somehow feel like it's a neck breaking speed either. It feels like it just goes, and you're hooked and you're entertained the whole ride. And a thing that also helps me, even though there were more amazing moments in Endgame for me, the fact that Infinity War was the first time where we just saw the scope of everything. We saw where the MCU was finally leading to, and it was like, it's finally here. This is the MCU. It wasn't like Civil War where it just had most of the Avengers and stuff like that. It was, how do they go from Civil War and top that? And you see that in Infinity War. You see the Spider-Man side of it join in with the Avengers. You see the Guardians and Thanos that they've been building up to. You finally get to see Thanos get a character of his own, and it was basically a Thanos movie. You get to see what this big bad guy that they were teasing, and you're like, no way are they gonna make a compelling, like, interesting 3D what's it called, a multi-layered bad guy. This in the comics, this is a guy that looks cool and stuff, but he's just simping for death. How are they gonna tackle him here? And you get all of that answered in the movie, and he comes off as menacing, but somehow kind of relatable. Like, you see his point of view. You know it's wrong, but he just has so much, like, passion for what he's doing that you kind of see this guy's misguided, but he feels strong about what he is. He feels like he's somewhat justified, even though he's wrong. But yeah, you just see all these different facets of the Marvel Cinematic Universe finally just come together and feel like an actual event comic book come to life for the first time. And again, I thought we would get that with Civil War, and I thought we did, but it just didn't hit the same once you see Infinity War and you see, man, Spider-Man and the Guardians are talking. It was mind-boggling at the time, and just seeing the bad guy win at the end, and just all that, like, shock value, all that, like, awesome visuals. It was one hell of a ride that it's ingrained in my memories, similar to how Endgame is. But since it was the first time we saw something like that, it definitely kind of has a special extra little bonus points in my book. That's why I would have to say Infinity War was number one for me.
But the fact that both movies are like that good, like both movies not only met most people's expectations but exceeded them. Like, when does that happen, that you get two back-to-back movies like that?
That's like a
where
once in a lifetime.
where both are like on par with one another. Like,
Well,
everyone says that one is either better than the other, but it's not like one is noticeably better, right? Like, they're both
they're both
better than
they
most
feel
of the
like
MCU.
one movie. They feel like they go hand in hand. But
Deathly Hallows 1 and 2.
And what you're saying, Mr. Oyman, it's what I mean. It's like, it just shows why Marvel is where it is right now, because most movie series kind of fumble and like drop the ball at the third movie in their trilogy, and this is a whole universe that at that point was like 21 or 22 movies or something like that. It's just they brought a good conclusion to 22 series when most series can't even do 3. So it just
But I will say this though. It's not like they came right after. I think that's the problem with a lot of like sequels, is the fact that they only kind of do it like a little bit just after, and like they need some time to kind of build it. Because like I said, you got to think about it in an aspect of like, what if this was a show? Yeah, I mean, technically it is because we have it on Disney Plus, right? The movie is a show. It's part of that. It's part of that formula where you have your main one, and then they have like these fillers. Now these fillers are what's building these characters up. They're building them, they're forming them, they're putting them where they need to be, and then like a little bit close to the end, that's where they start shooting them out. Like, okay, put this person with this person with this person, and then finally, they finally tie it all in together with Endgame, and that's where literally all of us enjoyed it the most, because literally like it was the end all to be all. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I was just kind of like saying this, I just threw it out there. I don't know if anybody heard me, but I was just saying like Deathly Hallows 1 and 2, like even for Harry Potter was the same way. It was just like they kind of they they brought it up. Like the first one was really good,
Easily
but
the
then
best.
yeah, like and the second one, I will say they kind of crammed a little bit too much on the second one. But that's the thing though. If they probably had maybe even like an in between, like it probably would have been a little bit better because they would have had more time. But especially with this, like being Marvel, like I mean, definitely they had so much to work with. And then it gave them so much time to actually
Yeah.
make this just right, because they had all these movies in between to actually make it to where what it was supposed to be.
It's like Age of Ultron walked so Infinity War and Endgame could run.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so before
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we go today, let's just do the roundup real quick. So my vote was Infinity War for the best one of Phase 3. I think JT, you said Infinity War as well.
Yes.
Which one was yours, Mr. Joestar?
Endgame.
Endgame. Mr. Oyman, you were Endgame too, right?
And
You
then
still
Miss
there?
Cap was Civil War.
Civil War.
Yes.
Ooh. So we have
No,
a tie.
I've-
Oh,
no,
go
I said
ahead.
Miss Cap was Civil War.
no,
Yeah,
it's, Infinity War.
Oh, Infinity War.
Oh,
I said
you're
I gave
okay.
I gave a special shout out to.
Oh, okay.
Civil
Then that
War,
makes
but
things
it was
easier.
Civil War would have been
Infinity.
my.
I was about
Civil
to
War's
say
like-
there was a tie.
Civil War's
between
right
that.
behind Infinity War for me, but yeah,
Yeah.
Endgame's still my.
Okay,
top.
so that breaks
Just
the
by a
tie,
bit, though.
and we have 3 for Infinity War and 2 for Endgame. So Phase 3 goes
yeah.
to Infinity War.
All great
So
movies.
that means we have Phase 1 as Captain America, the first Avenger. Phase 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy, and Phase 3 is Infinity War. So on a future episode, we're gonna go ahead and try to bring all these 3 champions and see which one is the end all be all. And we'll go ahead.
And then we'll eventually do Phase 4, where Eternals will be the winner.
Yeah, Phase.
No,
No,
Morbius.
Morbius.
Morbius won.
Morbius is in Phase Morb.
No, he's in Phase
They're
4
in
because
old
they took the
stuff.
Vulture. They took the Vulture,
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
technically
fuck,
canon.
alright.
It's technically
Okay.
canon.
Damn it.
I vote for Howard the Duck.
Oh,
Worst
jeez,
ending
no.
of all time.
I want to see some duck titties.
Oh, fuck.
At least that movie had duck titties. That movie was more redeemable than fucking Morbius.
Wow, that's saying a lot though. I mean, that's you got to be quacking killing me.
All right. No
Quacking killing
Morbius, no
All right.
Howard the Duck. So
What
since
are you
it's
quacking about?
it's
That's a good
it's almost
stopping
pretty
point.
close to the 2-hour mark, so I guess we'll go ahead and call it a night here. So before we get going, as usual, I do want to go ahead and thank the chat and the viewers out there, listeners. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to us to have you guys tune in. I mean, we're just a couple. We're a group of friends just shooting the shit about Marvel, something we all kind of enjoy and have a passion for, and we're glad that you guys could join us on that. So thank you for tuning in, and let's go ahead and go out panel here. So we got Mr. Joestar. It was nice having you on.
Alrighty, thank you very much again for another week of Marvel Mondays. Hope all of our viewers enjoyed this really big talk fest of our phases. So definitely, I'm really excited about putting all these 3 all together and seeing what we come up with. But hopefully, you guys tune in next time.
What about you, Mr. JT? Any closing statements from you?
I mean, this future episode between Captain America, Guardians, and also Infinity War is going to be brutal. Like, all 3 have great qualities, and we're going to find out. But thank you guys for listening. And I love you guys so much. This is our passion project. Marvel Mondays is great. Join us every Monday night.
And what about you, Miss Cap? Any final statements for the listeners out there for today?
No, just thanks for listening. Thanks for just tuning in, even though it's for 5 minutes or from beginning to end or just the end.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
as long as you're tuning in and you're enjoying what we're listening to, man, come back next week and hear some more.
Yeah, definitely. You did make a good point. Like, if it is like your first time or you came in for 5 minutes, we do appreciate it. It definitely, if it's your first time here, I hope you did enjoy what you listened to. And you'll be back for more. I mean, we do appreciate every single listen. What about you, Mr. Oyman, my wonderful co-host, who's not gonna bring up Howard the Duck or Morbius?
Right. I
Just
gotta
a good closer this time.
We have to push the boundaries, take the risks. Without it, there's no science, no medicine, no breakthroughs at all.
Ah, shit! I'm about to mute your
That
ass.
was Michael Morbius.
I am Venom.
Send off.
Success.
All right, Mr. Oyman. I hope that was a great outro for not only for this
For my last
for this show, but for your last episode on Marvel Mondays. But again, thanks all of y'all for being in here, both the panel and the listeners. As usual, we're gonna be here every Monday at 7:30 p.m. unless we're running a bit behind, then it might be 8. But for the most part, tune in on Mondays at 7 p.m. And y'all have a fantastic week.
You know how much I sacrificed?